welcome back to Norman's Garage. So you guys are actually right now viewing me in the future because the car is still here and it's not at the paint shop yet. But what we're doing today is something I've been wanting to do for a long time and something that really isn't offered yet. And so, I mean, it's offered in the pro mod world, but it's extremely expensive and not necessary to spend that much money in my opinion. So today we are making a pro mod style catch can. Now, most people in the sport front wheel drive, most people in the sport front wheel drive community, they put their catch cans somewhere in here in the engine bay. Now, they work great. Your crankcase actually does vent very well. Everything's all good. However, in the event that an engine goes, there's potential for you to get oil, for one, all over your engine bay, and for two, underneath of your tires. So we do not want that to happen. So a lot of the pro mods, if you see like Street Outlaws and X275 classes and stuff, you'll see the actual, you'll see, a bunch of condensation and stuff coming out of the trunk. Well, that's because their catch can, or puke tank as they call it, is mounted in the rear. And they usually have big 1.25" hoses running all the way to the back end to one tank, which then goes into a breather tank. If you look at Tim McAmus's stuff, he's got some nice units. However, like I said, when you get the whole setup, it's around $1,000 for a tank and a vent. So I really don't feel like spending that money. So what I'm doing is I actually have right now a eBay 5-gallon fuel cell. It's 12" by 12" by 12". Nothing crazy. It was about $50 shipped. I don't even know how they make it for this cheap. However, this is going to turn into my catch can. So what you're going to be seeing is we're going to cut out the entire top of this thing. We're going to make baffles, and then also coming out for your inlets is going to be these 90-degree pipes that are going to accept an 1.25" hose. That's outside diameter hose. I mean, 1.25" inside diameter hose, sorry. So this, right now, before we go to the paint shop, I need to mount this, but I also need a way to make it so currently I've got 2 -10s on my valve cover. Back here, the valve cover is nice and baffled in there. And then I also have a -16 from the back side of the block. So if you guys don't know, on a B series, actually the driver's side block port fitting most people use is actually a portion for your it's actually oil drain back, so it's just going to funnel a bunch of oil into it. So use the passenger side, and I've got Track Tough makes I think it's like an M28 to -16, so I'm going to have one -16 coming off the back. But I have nice firewall bulkheads on everything, and so what I'm trying to do today before this thing goes to paint is actually make a firewall bulkhead that actually has 2 -10s that go to 1.25" and then one -16 that goes to 1.25". So that will actually allow me to have just the actual that'll allow me to have just the actual hoses hooked right up to the firewall, which will be nice. And then you can have the 1.25" going to the back side of the car. So what we're going to be doing first off is making that. Okay, so got this piece all tacked up. So this will go ahead and make our little merge here. And I haven't welded aluminum in a while, but we will go on and get this thing welded up. You can see I use just this plate, this piece of stock, just to make sure that they're going to go to the same thing. There should be plenty of room. It's going to be a little hard to weld the inside of there, but we're going to make it happen, Captain. So let's go and get to welding. So I got a nice bulkhead connection there. As you can see, I've got 2-10s there and 1-16, and that comes through the back side here. If you can see, we've got a 2.25 inch here that come out. So looks pretty good. It's gonna seal everything off, and I like it. I had to make a little merge there, but it looks good, and it clears my fire bottle so my hoses can run down, along, and up. So next thing, we will actually start on building our catch can. Okay, so where we left off, we had just gotten this bulkhead penetration done for our 2-10s into our 2-10s into 1.25 inch, and then the single -16. Just painted up because the car has come back from paint since we've been off. And I've got this tabs all welded before I actually moved it, so that the this what is going to be our catch can or puke tank, depending on how you want to call it, is going to be mounted here. And the plan is to have hoses from there, route over and up to this tank, and then it's going to be baffled on the inside, and then actually all the residual air, or should catch all the oil, is going to come out either, I haven't figured out exactly where, probably the rear windshield. The trunk is a little ways for where I have it mounted, so it's going to be Lexan though. Also have these drains on the bottom. I'm going to have one that goes down underneath the car. I probably already said that, but now we're going to go on and figure out what we're doing over here. So this is just a small little diagram. I'm going to have 2 of these 1.25 inch pieces here, right here, coming in the back side of the can, and it's going to force our air and oil mixture to come down here. And this right here is actually my local hardware store is doing a lot of renovating, so I found this for really cheap. It's flimsy, but I'm going to be able to, I might double or even triple it up. Got nice holes in there, so that should help allow the oil to go down and the air to, or vapor just to go up. So this whole layer here is going to be that stuff, and then probably welded to actually the side, since that's not going to have very much rigidity. We're going to have a plate coming up here so that your air comes down in, has to loop around, and all your oil should fall at that point, come around up top here, and it gives it another chance to capture yet again before it's coming out with a 2-inch whole piece of charge pipe. Depending on which way I'm going to have it, I'm not really sure, but should be plenty of flow. Should actually separate our oil and air very, very well. Just have that's going to be your little layer, and everything's going to run down to that sump in the back. So I want to come in here so that way that it's not the opposite to where your air exit or vapor exit is on the forward end. So when the car is accelerating, all the oil, if it is in the tank, is going to the rear and down in the sump area, and not into where it's coming out, right? So that should theoretically have it all pull. I'm gonna have plenty of room, plenty of capacity. I should be able to puke out the entire capacity of the engine as far as oil goes without actually losing any oil, to the track. So that'll be very good. It'll be much safer for everybody. So the first thing I got to do is cut this whole top out. Alright, so getting on ready to go ahead and cut this. And it is aluminum, like I said before. I've showed you guys before. If you want to cut aluminum with a grinder, this is called beeswax. Put some on the edge of your wheel, run it into it real quick, and it will make cutting through aluminum with a cutting wheel a whole lot better. So probably already said this before, but I feel very strongly about this stuff. This stuff, you can get it on Amazon or something like that. Pretty cheap, and it lasts forever. You'll probably ruin or lose the block before you ever actually run out. So yeah, we'll go ahead, down our PPE, and get started cutting. Alrighty, we should be pretty good Nice clean cuts using that beeswax. That stuff is amazing yet again. So this is gonna be cleaned up, and then this is going to be our pallet, basically. Okay, as y'all can see, I got quite the contraption lined up to make this flush with the top of the tank. We got stacked on some grinder wheels, some mill stock. This one's going across the two to make sure that we're flat there. All sorts of stuff, so I can tack that side, and let's go. All right, so figured out my placement. You see here we got our two inlet hoses here for your 1.25 inch tubing coming in, and here's going to be our outlet 2 inch that's going to go out probably out the rear window. So this is all tacked up, and if you look, I'm not breaking any tacks here. So these are coming out, and they fit down below that baffle, so that means that that air is going to have to make a 180 turn in order to get over top of the baffle, so that will separate the oil. And then, you know, obviously it's flush there at the top of this, so that'll be good. I'm probably gonna put a little bit of RTV across the top of there. I know this is gonna get hot, but I'm gonna put some RTV across there just to seal that top portion. And then, so this is pretty much all done. Alright, so this is all welded up. Probably not focusing. Not the best welds I've ever done. Definitely not the worst. It's really not focusing. Hope I haven't messed this lens up. So, all the tops all welded. And this is pretty much the last time that you are going to see the inside of this box. So, we're going to get on. Everything should be cleaned up and good. We're going to tack it. Wrong way. These welds should actually look decent. I'm probably gonna have to beat some around because obviously that, you know, messed up a little bit there. But yeah, it's time to get to welding on this puppy. Okay, so got all this done up, completely welded. Pretty happy with most of it, and except for right there, I really didn't hit that corner down as much as I could when it had bowed. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with my welds all over because I haven't welded aluminum in quite some time, so not too shabby. Not gonna leak or anything like that, you know. So now it's time to go ahead and test fit this sucker in the car. But first off, let's just look at this. So we had a 5-gallon capacity total, probably 2.5 to 3 in the bottom. You know, our engine only holds 6 to 7 quarts, so I think we're good there to where we could literally puke out the entire engine oil. Got our 2.25 inch hoses coming in there, 2-inch vent out, which is going to go out the rear window because I have an Lexan window going in. These are the initial drains that came out of this eBay catch can or eBay fuel tank. So one of these is going to be my actual drain, which I'm going to have like a hose to a valve down underneath the car to where it's really easily accessible so you can drain and see what's going on. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So let's go ahead and put it in the car. Alright, so now as you guys can see, that's our exit, and that is, you know, missing our rear bar and really pointed towards the center here. I'm probably going to build a little plate to come out this rear window, like right here, you know, that actually with aluminum plate, kind of like people have for their hood exits, just to make it flush. Might come upward a ways just to make it kind of go up out. We'll see how everything goes there, but all looks good to me and I'm happy with it. So thank you guys for watching. And next time, I honestly don't know what we're going to be getting into because I have so much work left to do on this car. There's a lot of different things going on. Still got to go up to AR Fab, get my engines back, but you know, I've got so much left to do. Got to finish up our suspension and steering rack and all that before I actually go ahead and put a mock-up engine in. Got to finish up our fire suppression lines and stuff like that. Possibly want to flock the dash. I'm not sure. You know, usually race car stuff, I don't worry too much about looks, but this thing's just looking too dang good to not start worrying about looks a little bit. Yeah, so a lot of stuff to do. Next time, like I said, not really sure where it's gonna go, but you guys will find out. Really looking forward to getting this thing together, and we're on the home stretch now. Really, like, all the hard work is done. You know, now it's nice putting stuff together and then fabbing up like some up pipes in there, cooler pipe in, and all the fun stuff. So the real nasty nitty gritty work is pretty much done and I'm excited. So thank you guys for watching. The subscriber count's definitely been going up and I really appreciate that. And let me know more of what you guys want to see, and thank you guys again, and I will see you later.